Good evening. Welcome to the February 7th edition of the Downers Grove Village Council meeting. As is our tradition, we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Barnett,
Here.
Commissioner Jose,
Here.
Commissioner Wallace,
Here.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit, here, Commissioner Colavani,
Here.
Commissioner Gilmartin,
Here.
Commissioner Glover.
Here.
All right, welcome all. Before we get started tonight, I want to just remind everybody some comments about public comments and about how we run our meetings, some of our expectations. The public comments portion of our agenda are important, valued parts of each council meeting. Excuse me a minute while I get a microphone. Please remember, however, it's not a debate or an open question and answer session. We're counting on everyone here to treat each other with respect and meeting with decorum. Beyond tonight's meetings, there are a variety of additional opportunities to engage council members, including our e-remark system, the CRC system, Coffee with the Council, direct email, or by phone. Every one of your council members spends time in person off this dais, making themselves available to residents and businesses across the community, and often those one-on-one conversations are the most productive. Your council is listening, taking notes, and considering what is said. Often some time is needed to reflect on the comments that are presented. That same consideration is expected of everyone in the room. If you hear a comment with which you disagree, just take some time to process it. Please remember to limit your speaking to 5 minutes. Please state your name for the record. Please address your comments to me as the chair of the meeting. Avoid repeating what others have said, and keep your comments to one visit to the podium per subject. And remember that comments are most effective when they focus on subjects within the scope of the Downers Grove Village governance. Finally, if you forget to mention something or additional conversation brings up a new idea, please hold that until after the meeting and use one of the other contact methods, such as email or phone, to contact us and bring that new comment to the next meeting. Is there a motion concerning minutes of previous council meetings?
Mayor, I move that the council adopt the January 10, 2023 minutes as presented.
Second.
Any comments or questions from the council? Rosa, please call the roll.
Commissioner Jose,
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace,
Aye.
Commissioner Glover,
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin,
Aye.
Commissioner Colavani,
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit, aye, Mayor Barnett.
Aye, that motion passes unanimously. Item 4 on our agenda is kind of a tradition. It's an annual report. It's an opportunity for us to look back and reflect a little bit on the previous year. So we'll get started. This presentation is part of a well-established tradition in the village where we take time to consider and recognize the most significant achievements of our prior year. It's been the custom of this council to take a look at some of the milestones that will forever define our history. Before we do, I want to remind everybody that as a community, we are a community that values all its members, and a community therefore best ready to face challenges. This has been and will remain one of our defining principles. The achievements highlighted here this evening are the result of the hard work of many people who share their time and talents for the betterment of our village. It's my privilege as mayor to reflect on those accomplishments and help enshrine them for years to come in this annual review. These successes would not be possible without the collaborative and dedicated efforts of a significant team comprised of the residents and businesses of Downers Grove, my village council colleagues, village staff, and our partner organizations. What we'll see this evening is that together, your village provides quality services and that we work hard to reflect the values, standards, and priorities of our community. In 2022, the village took many steps forward in the design, funding, and construction of the Civic Center project. In fact, after decades of false starts and course changes, we're now actually under construction. When completed in the fall of 2024, the project will remain a modern facility shared by the Police Department, Village Hall, and School District 58 administrative offices. It'll be a facility that adds value to our community and stands ready to serve Downers Grove for generations to come. Israel Blackburn Civil Rights Plaza will welcome visitors to the building. Elected and appointed boards and commissions will convene and deliberate in council chambers named for Mayor Betty Cheever. The building and the site will feature many environmentally sustainable features, including solar panels, green roofs, electric vehicle charging stations, rain gardens, and rainwater harvesting systems, and permeable pavers. This project will showcase the ways that governmental organizations in Downers Grove can work together and serve as stewards of community resources and the environment. Here's a brief video which captures the groundbreaking event that took place in September.
Welcome to the Downers Grove Civic Center groundbreaking ceremony.
After years of hard work and planning, I'm thrilled to be here at this momentous groundbreaking. This building, a shining example of our downtown design guidelines, will include distinct spaces for each entity.
Finding a way to share this space and work together, we are able to be more efficient. We are going to be more fiscally responsible and therefore a better steward of taxpayer dollars.
And it is truly an honor for me to be standing with you all here today as we celebrate the start of construction.
The design process for this innovative civic facility has been guided by very, very strong design objectives set forth by the leadership of the village.
We're looking forward to providing outstanding services from this new building beginning in 2024. May it serve the Downers Grove community well for years to come, and thank you all for being here today.
Now it's time to go build it. Let's go.
For well over a decade, your village has been constructing stormwater infrastructure projects in areas that are subject to frequent flooding. Since 2008, the village has completed over 90 stormwater projects at a cost of over $50 million. The current stormwater capital projects plan includes the construction of 12 projects at an estimated cost of $7.5 million. In addition to these projects, annual recurring programs such as the Drainage Cost Share Program, our Green Streets Sustainable Stormwater Program, downtown water quality improvements, minor stream corridor maintenance, and storm sewer replacements account for an additional $1 million per year. Last year, we began to implement the 2022 through 2024 Stormwater Capital Plan by issuing $5.5 million in bonds, and the village constructed stormwater infrastructure improvements serving the areas of Lyman and 62nd, 39th and Sterling, and the area near Otis, Grant, and Florence. The village also completed a large-scale stormwater improvement project in the Burlington Highlands neighborhood last year. The project's centerpiece was the construction of a naturalized detention pond on the east side of Bel Air Lane where Virginia Street ends. As is our practice, we work to bundle infrastructure work in an effort to minimize disruption to our neighborhoods. This project was no exception and included new storm sewers, sidewalk improvements at the intersections, street resurfacing, and water main replacements. This naturalized detention basin on Bel Air is part of an ongoing effort at preserving and restoring natural areas throughout Downers Grove. Naturalized basins have become a regular sight across our community as your council and staff continue to focus on current best practices and continue to prioritize improvements in environmental sustainability. This next short video provides a brief overview of the program.
The village is committed to preserving and restoring natural areas in our community. In the unlikeliest corners of Downers Grove, the village has been converting turf grass to sustainable natural areas packed with native plants like milkweed, foxgloves, black-eyed Susans, and coneflowers. Natural areas have many benefits over turf grass. They provide a habitat for local wildlife, as well as provide an important pollination station for butterflies and bees. Native plants have much deeper roots than turf grass and are able to handle more stormwater runoff. They require less maintenance since they're drought resistant and don't require mowing. Native vegetation is aesthetically pleasing all year round and even attracts mosquito predators. Restoring these natural areas is a win for the community and a valued step towards environmental sustainability.
Environmental sustainability has been a top priority for our community and continues to be a valuable result of the efforts and activities of your village. For instance, 10 bioswales were installed last year, bringing the total of bioswales throughout the village to 32. The installation of an additional 40 bioswales are planned in coming months. We will continue to incorporate native plantings wherever possible, similar to the Claremont Street median. The rain barrel and native tree and shrub sales continue to be popular with our community. These events have been part of a successful collaboration with our partners at the Conservation Foundation since 2010. Our sustainability efforts also focus on reducing water consumption. Thanks to our monitoring and conservation efforts, including our innovative Water Smart system, village-wide water system consumption is down over 20% since 2012. The collection and disposal of solid waste, including refuse, recycling, and yard waste, and other compostable materials, is a vital service to the residents of Downers Grove. Residents expect reliability, value, and environmental sensitivity in their solid waste service. In 2022, the village helped to ensure those expectations are met by extending a contract with Republic Services, which will support our community through 2025. The village scheduled a cleanup amnesty day in 2022, and at least one more will occur during this most recent 3-year contract extension. Prior to the event, the village encouraged residents to donate or repurpose useful materials before disposing of them. Under this contract extension, households will have greater flexibility to choose refuse and recycling cart sizes that match their disposal needs and see real benefits from reducing consumption, a goal we all embrace. We'd like to thank our longtime partners at Republic Services for their dedicated service to our community, especially when inclement weather challenges those efforts. The village's sustainability efforts also include reducing the consumption of paper. In 2022, the village went live with a new paperless permit and service request portal for all your permitting and service needs. The new portal streamlines the application process for building, fire, public works, and planning permit applications. With this paperless online system, you can apply for a permit, upload files, view correspondence, pay for your approved permit, and request inspections. The portal is also a convenient way to connect with the village for various services. In addition to permitting, you can report a pothole, a downed tree limb, or even a lost pet, all from the comfort of your home and the convenience of your schedule. These new services represent a portion of the new Enterprise Resource Planning System, which links the financial and operational processing needs of all departments. It's part of a multi-year implementation that is without a doubt one of the largest, most far-reaching projects an organization can undertake. Please visit downers.us, open the link to create an account, and select the option that best fits your needs. The village is committed to providing a well-maintained street system. In 2022, we invested nearly $6 million in our local roads and resurfaced over 30 street segments. Fairview Avenue is resurfaced from Ogden to Maple and from 2nd to 8th Street. The project included spot repair of curbs, sidewalk replacement for ADA compliance, grinding the existing top layer of asphalt, patching as needed, 2 new layers of asphalt, and new pavement striping. We also continue to replace the decorative crosswalks in the downtown. The crosswalks are constructed with colored concrete, topped with a highly visible, durable material in a decorative red, brick, and white striped pattern. As with our work on Fairview, the crosswalk project includes localized curbs, sidewalk, and ADA-related work. It'll be completed in 2023, and I'm sure we'll all be glad to see the final results. Making Downers Grove a safe community is one of our strategic goals. In a vibrant community like Downers Grove, walkability, rideability, drivability, and connected neighborhoods are desirable attributes and the reasons why your village takes pedestrian, bike, and traffic safety seriously. In 2022, the village made significant improvements to vehicular and pedestrian safety. Prairie Avenue from Belmont to Main Street was resurfaced and striped, transforming it and enhancing safety for all users. Additionally, stop signs, bump outs, and pedestrian crossings were installed at 7 intersections. Bicycle sharrow striping was added from Belmont to Lee, and the speed limit was reduced from 25 miles an hour for the entire stretch. Lower speeds, surer bike and vehicle interactions, and safer pedestrian crossings for all are our goals. Prairie Avenue joins Carpenter, Claremont, and Queens Court as examples of street redesign that improves our shared environment going forward and furthers many of the goals of our comprehensive plan. In 2022, the village partnered with Andy Frayne Services and enhanced school crossing guard services, ensuring that all school crossings are staffed on a daily basis. Providing high-quality, safe drinking water is important. In 2022, the village extended portions of our water system to ensure that Downers Grove residents on Williams Street have the opportunity to connect to Lake Michigan water at a significantly reduced cost. This project included the extension of a new water main along Williams from 41st Street to the village limit just north of Ogden Avenue. Through neighborhood meetings and direct communication from the village, Residents were informed how to reduce their costs by coordinating with the village and taking advantage of the DuPage County program, which covers up to $3,000 of the cost of connecting to our water system. Governor Pritzker recently signed the SAFETY Act. A major tenet of this act requires all law enforcement agencies to begin using body-worn cameras. Although not required by law to do so until 2025, at the direction of your village council, the police department began operating body-worn cameras in July of 2022. In-car cameras are also used and designed to work in conjunction with the body-worn cameras. Without question, this new technology has a place in modern law enforcement, and the village is committed to upholding legislation that improves transparency and accountability. Your police department, which continues its long history of innovation and leadership, is committed to putting people first and treating all who live, work, and visit our community with dignity and respect at all times. When it comes to public safety, Downers Grove is fortunate not only to have a highly ranked, nationally accredited police department, but also to benefit from an award-winning fire department. The American Heart Association's Mission Lifeline EMS is a program designed to recognize emergency medical service organizations across the nation for excellent heart attack care. The role of EMS in the system of care for these patients is crucial and often sets the course for the patient's outcome. For the fourth year in a row, our fire department was recognized by the American Heart Association with the Mission Lifeline Gold Plus status, the highest recognition level awarded from the American Heart Association, for its coordinated, proactive system of care that turns first responders, hospitals, and other health care providers into a team, using proven guidelines and best practices to treat patients suffering from heart attacks and strokes, to help save lives, improve patient outcomes from symptom onset all the way through cardiac rehabilitation. This is another distinction that puts the Downers Grove Fire Department among the top departments in Illinois and in the nation. Also in 2022, the Downers Grove Fire Department again achieved Class 1 Public Protection rank for fire protection effectiveness. This classification is based on a community's fire suppression system, including emergency communications, operational effectiveness, and water supply. Community efforts to reduce losses through fire prevention, public fire safety education, and fire investigation were also recognized. Property and business owners in communities with an excellent ISO rating like Downers Grove benefit from lower insurance rates. Downers Grove is one of 27 fire departments in Illinois and one of 411 nationwide with this Class 1 rating. Congratulations to the hardworking members of the Downers Grove Fire Department and their commitment to excellence in public safety services. Traditional public services are increasingly enhanced by innovation. The village publicly launched our social services referral program in February of 2022, connecting individuals in need of service with the agencies that provide the services. This program provides multiple methods for individuals to contact the village in person, by phone, and online. Individuals who contact the village receive personal referrals to specific social service providers from our licensed social worker. The village also actively seeks to identify and contact individuals who may be in need of service. Our social services referral program has been an overwhelming success. In 2022, over 500 referrals were made with an acceptance rate of 85%. We connected people to agencies providing a wide range of services. The vast majority of people were connected to housing, mental health, transportation, and senior services. The program operates with the assistance of the Human Services Commission, which was reconstituted in 2022. So a special thank you is due to the members of the Commission who generously give their time and talents to help guide the social services referral program. The village significantly advanced our diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in 2022. As I mentioned earlier, a community that values all its members is a community best ready to engage challenges, and a government that reflects its residents is best ready to serve them. Our efforts have been on the village as an employer, with a focus on increasing the diversity of our staff through employee attraction and retention. Our mission is to attract and retain a diverse staff, create opportunities for all, and celebrate differences, knowing that diversity makes us stronger. And I'm proud to report that our village staff team has become more diverse. All staff members received training on diversity, welcoming, and inclusion, and we participated in the Metro Mayor's Caucus Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Working Group and Task Force. Your village's commitment to ensuring a welcoming workplace for all is strong, unwavering, and committed. This is important work that we intend to continue. One of the positive outcomes of our experience during COVID-19 has been the embrace of an outdoor dining throughout the community, and especially in the downtown. In 2022, and with input from Downtown Management Corporation, the village adopted ordinance changes to permanently establish the enhanced outdoor dining program. Outdoor dining in Downers Grove continues to grow and provides a way to boost activity in our downtown and leverage our public streets and sidewalks to add to the vitality of our community. Architecture has been referred to as the combination of space and form. Buildings and the spaces without them have real effects on how people feel. You may recall that in 2021 we amended our downtown design guidelines. These guidelines serve to guide the exterior appearance of downtown developments that require entitlement approvals. The guidelines are not intended to dictate architecture or building style, but rather to influence the design of the building so they adhere to the comprehensive plan recommendations to create pedestrian-oriented development and maintain a commitment to quality architecture. On a sunny day in July of last year, the village hosted a summer walking tour to show the remarkable enhancements and design features in our downtown to the Municipal Design Review Network. The MDRN committee is comprised of experienced planning and design professionals who represent the MDRN membership throughout the Chicago metro area. It is operated by the Chaddick Institute for Metropolitan Development at DePaul University and offers opportunities for area communities with design review boards or staff professionals to share and develop best practices. In addition to on-site narration, your village staff created a smartphone app to provide more detailed project information to those in attendance. The tour was attended by 32 network members and featured new downtown residential developments, innovative development guidelines, and zoning strategies that create buffer zones between the downtown district and residential homes. We should all be super proud of our downtown and encouraged by the fact that design and planning professionals are taking note of our success. Downers Grove has without a doubt been positively impacted by the strong partnership between the village, the Economic Development Corporation, and Downtown Management Corporation. We have a low tax base and a constant cycle of development in our commercial areas because people invest and reinvest in our community as they bring new businesses to start or expand in Downers Grove. Much of that activity happens thanks to the collaborative efforts with our partners at EDC and Downtown Management. Each year, the village budget funds to support the work of these organizations. In 2022, it was close to $1 million, and our return on that investment is important to every resident and business in the community. For example, 28% of the budget for village operations comes from property taxes. That's not much. Less than 1/3 of what it takes to support our community and continue to provide the top quality services we spoke about earlier. A significant portion of our revenue, which allows us to keep doing what we're doing and to minimize property taxes, is a result of economic activity. Economic growth, festivals and celebrations, marketing opportunities, creating jobs, ensuring the vibrancy of our downtown. The work of the EDC and the Downtown Management Corporation is vital to the long-term success of Downers Grove. Your village runs a lean organization that can sometimes be misunderstood as frugal or cheap, but in reality it's neither. Lean is a way of thinking and a culture that seeks to create value and eliminate waste. Lean is a practice of continuously experimenting to achieve perfect value and zero waste, in our case, as we deliver the services we all expect and depend on. That's what we've been doing, and it's resulted in a strong financial position for the village. The good work is attributable to this council and councils prior, as well as our staff and partner organizations. EDC and Downtown Management do so much on behalf of us all, and they create the environment that, frankly, allows us to keep our costs to residents and businesses down. We're thankful for their partnership and service to Downers Grove. A little later this evening, they'll be sharing examples of the latest economic wins and a look what's on the horizon for our community. One of our strategic goals has been to be a steward of financial sustainability. This financial sustainability is achieved by aligning expenses and revenues on a long-term basis. For many years, we have controlled expenses and implemented revenue sources that withstand short-term uncertainty and provide long-term stability, all while providing value to the residents and taxpayers of our village. Good stewardship, long-range planning, and the desire to care for our residents, businesses, and guests alike demands that financial sustainability remains a priority. In 2022, we again managed the budget wisely. Expenses in the general fund were kept at budgeted amounts while revenues exceeded the budget. This allowed us to transfer $3.8 million to other funds as we seek to address both short and long-term financial needs and to minimize the burden on taxpayers in the future. Financial rating agencies agree that the village manages our finances in a prudent manner. Once again, S&P Global assigned a AAA rating to Downers Grove for our bond issuance for the Civic Center project and stormwater capital projects. This rating means the village borrowed money at the lowest possible cost to taxpayers and is a testament to our diligent financial management. The 2023 budget approved in December reflects the strategies and recommendations in the long-range plan and contains a sustainable general fund budget with revenues greater than expenses. Village property taxes will not increase this year, as the 2023 property tax levy is the same as the 2022 levy. Let me say that again. Despite increasing costs nearly everywhere we all look, and despite improving village services, your village will not be increasing the property tax levy next year. The amount a typical property pays to the village in property taxes will remain at $775, or less than $2.50 a day. It's a real value for the services the residents of Downers Grove expect and deserve. Accuracy, transparency, and consistency are hallmarks of any good organization. They're what each family and each business expects from the governments that serve them. For over 30 years, the village's financial work has been recognized for its accuracy, transparency, and consistency by the Government Finance Officers Association. Once again, the village has received the Distinguished Budget Award and Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report from the GFOA. In 2022, the Communications Department scored another win for excellence in government communications and marketing with a promotional video featuring WaterSmart, the village's digital portal where you can access detailed information about your household water use. Communication and information are the keys to understanding, and your village wants to make every effort to communicate with residents, businesses, and guests we serve, and provide the information that help us all make decisions and understand our community. We try to create opportunities to connect with us and the information and get the information when it's needed, when it's convenient. As a result, there are many ways to get the latest information on village issues and operations. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Nextdoor. Additionally, there's a weekly e-newsletter with links to our website, meeting agendas, construction updates, and local events. Registration is easy with a visit to the e-news subscription page. And finally, you can register for the community-wide notifications and receive important messages from us via phone, email, or text. Please visit our website at downers.us and choose the communication method that works best for you. Thank you all for listening this evening. 2022 was a fantastic year, and we're looking forward to a great 2023. Doug, thank you for the help in that. And thank you to everybody for the work that you've done all year long. It's been great. We'll continue our meeting now with a couple of presentations from some of our partner organizations. First up is the Economic Development Corporation with an annual report. Welcome, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you. There we go. All right. Good evening, everybody. So good to see everybody. Here we go. This evening we have a couple of reports all kind of bunched into one. We have our quarterly economic development report. We have our monthly economic development KPI report. And then we also have our annual to go along with the village's report this evening. So before we get started with some of the KPIs that we track, just wanted to bring up a few upcoming events for the DGEDC as well as the village here. So happy to announce that starting later on this month or the beginning of next, we will have our first ever quarterly newsletter from the Economic Development Corporation. This will be an opportunity for the EDC to really start highlighting and promoting, creating awareness of some of the more notable developments within the village, talking about some of our existing opportunities as well as some of the businesses that we have in town, and then highlighting for our existing businesses in town resources that are either available throughout the community, from the county, from the state, or from the federal government. So all of this, again, is just to build awareness of opportunities and, again, support our businesses and, again, talk about opportunities. So the next one is I'm really happy to announce that the Downers Grove EDC was selected to the Illinois Navigator Program. Through this Community Navigator Program, which will kick off sometime in March, we will be kind of one of the lead organizations here in DuPage County to encourage businesses to apply for and assist with the application of state funding programs. So in this case, the state of Illinois will be launching the Back to Business Round 2 program later on in March, and so DGEDC will be, again, encouraging businesses to apply, also with assisting our businesses to actually apply for those funds here. So more information on that, hopefully in the next 3 to 4 weeks here, and then there will be kind of a launch period, and then we'll be talking about that. But that will certainly help us with our business retention efforts here for the next year. So really excited about that. Also, later on this week, we'll have a save the date card go out to everybody's email here to announce our annual DGEDC annual luncheon that'll take place on May 11th at the DoubleTree here in Downers Grove. And then last but not least, for the first time in 3 years, we'll be going back to the ICSC Retail Convention later on in May this year. So a lot of good things on the horizon here. Again, keep an eye open for that quarterly newsletter and any program announcements for the Community Navigator program. So getting right into it here, so starting out with our monthly key performance indicators, or our KPIs. Again, some of these numbers you'll notice do go back to October and November of last year. It just all depends on the reporting functions from either the state or from the village here. Also, I should mention at this point, all of these numbers are available with this presentation on our website under our data tab at the dgedc.com. So to get started here, so looking back to last year, starting out our fourth quarter, October municipal sales tax numbers, another great month for Downers Grove here. We just had under $1.3 million in sales tax. That was a almost 5% increase year over year from 2021. And then when you kind of look at the rest of our neighbors here, we're right in line with where we should be. Again, for a municipality, it doesn't have a regional or a super regional mall. We punch way above our weight category for that end. So again, another good month for us there. You can kind of see here we have year over year for the last 4 years. That green line is our 2022 number, and so kind of looking at how we've done, just continuing to do better and better each year from that standpoint. Our home rule, our home rule, non-home rule sales tax, again, kind of right in that same category as well, just under 5%. Increase year over year, again, back to October here, and aligned with the rest of our neighbors here, right in line where we should be. Again, kind of looking at those trend lines here, again, right above where we should be, and just continuing to trend up going into the holiday season last year. Local use tax, again, fantastic increase year over year for October, $180,000, almost an 18% increase year over year. So, and again, kind of seeing that those trend lines there. As we get into another one of our food and beverage tax numbers here, so $288,000. This one is reported in for November, so just a little bit different on the timeline here, but right at that 5% year over year. In this case here, changing around a little bit of our recording for the for this presentation here. We have year over year for just 21 and 22, but again, right where we should be, and seeing that uptick going right into the holiday season. Visitors, this is a new KPI that we're developing in-house. Last year, the DGEDC subscribed to a new program called Placer AI. This gives us almost in real-time data for visitors within a geo-fenced area. Basically, we set the boundaries. In this case, it was for the downtown area, and then we can measure that out over a specific point in time, take a snapshot, go back, forward, like I said, almost in real time here, so kind of looking at our performance within the downtown area from the weekend before Thanksgiving all the way out to the middle of January, kind of taking into account all the holiday hubbub and everything like that. Just under 560,000 visitors to the downtown. Those are unique visitors, so about 225 unique people. So that means they were coming back about on average 2.5 times to the downtown area. And what I think for all of our retailers and our restaurants, what makes them most excited is that on average they were spending just over 2 hours within the downtown here. So that more than likely means they're going out, getting a meal, they're walking around, going to our retailers. So all good things. And as we continue to develop this, we'll start breaking these numbers out for just not only the downtown, but some of our larger shopping centers as well. So. All right, moving forward to our hotel taxes. For November of last year here, $62,000, just over $62,000 here in reported hotel taxes for the year. So that is 0% year over year. But what this actually means is actually a very good number for us. And the reason why we're saying that is if you look at here the last 4 years of hotel tax recorded, you can kind of see that green line is our 2022 number. So we actually met and actually for a very short period in time exceeded the hotel tax dollars received by the village over our best year on record, which was 2019. So in September, we have a slight peak above that line there, and then it kind of averages out on with our rest of the years there. So considering as well that last year in May we lost one of our 6 hotels, or 7 hotels. We went down to 6. So considering the fact that we were continuing the trend up throughout that period, we actually exceeded our 2019. That just also bodes well for us doing exceptionally well next year when our new Woodspring Suites opens up next year. So all good things reporting out from hotels taxes going forward. Unemployment rates, DuPage County and really Downers Grove continue to lead in this extremely tight labor market here. So as you can see, reported out for November and October of last year at 3.1%. That really is a tight labor market. That also means, though, most of our individuals, if they are working, they are out there and already encouraged to go out there, and again, they're active. So just right there in line with DuPage County, but again, we continue to be a great example of highly skilled, highly educated, motivated workforce here in DuPage County. Moving along to our quarterly key performance indicators here. So once again, Downers Grove commercial occupancy rates, we continue to lead here, and where you see this here is 90.47% occupancy rate. So this is the rate in which our commercial retail spaces are occupied here. We're right along the lines there with DuPage County, so we continue to do really well there. Very few vacancies within the community, and you kind of see here by this chart again, we're back up on the upswing for those occupancy rates there. Moving on to industrial, so 3.12 vacancy rates here in Downers Grove. That is pretty much as close to 100% as we're ever going to get in terms of full spaces. Anything else that's out there vacant now is mainly vacant due to obsolescence, within the marketplace. In comparison to the I-88 corridor, which is kind of this DuPage County submarket, we continue to be well within point, in some cases a 1.5 better than vacancy rates within other communities. So again, really strong industrial market for Downers Grove here. Again, you can kind of see that through the rates here, vacancy rates from the last year plus. So. Moving along to office vacancy rates here. So in the fourth quarter, again, we continue to be a leader, from an office vacancy rate here, 11.5% total, and then when you really break it up by class, just over 14.5% vacancy rate in our office market here. Fantastic, 7 points, almost, full 7 points better than the DuPage County average, especially here in the east-west office corridor. So again, really strong numbers. Great to see that, and again, we'll continue to identify those larger spaces that are still vacant and try to bring in some new attraction projects for those. Moving along to our annual key KPIs here. So traditionally, our office has worked with the STAN and Community Development Department here regarding new permitting projects for the past year. Last year, almost perfectly in line. Last year we had 51 projects and $20.3 million in construction improvements within the village here. And again, these are permits that are pulled and or completed within the calendar year, not necessarily issued. They have to be of either a commercial or industrial use within the community. So 53 total projects. $20.7 million of improvements within the community here. Fantastic numbers, and again, right where we should be. Just showing, again, positive economic growth, within the community. A new indicator that we're developing right now, and this is something that I've kind of brought over from my time in Aurora as well as DuPage County and the state. Looking at projects with a little bit of a different lens here in terms of total square footage, creation of new jobs, and then that additional investment dollars. So using these indicators and having to meet 2 of the 3 criteria, we had 11 projects last year, 51, almost $52 million of a capital investment. And right now we don't have all the reporting features on total jobs created, but somewhere in the range of about 700 to 800 new jobs created in the village of Downers Grove. So really strong projects for the last year, and a really good pipeline here moving forward. So really excited about that. And then our last indicator for this evening here is just in terms of overall employment within the village here. So the state of Illinois produces a great publication every year. It's called Where Workers Work. It's through the Illinois Department of Employment Security. We had last year the number of employed within the community, and that's not just residents working. It is that total number based on the number of total businesses within the village that pay unemployment insurance taxes. So based on those numbers in the state recording, we have about 47,000 people working within the community on a day in and day out basis. So what is great about this is that numbers continues to go up. We saw almost a 5.5% increase year over year with our employment numbers, and again, just showing once again that economic development opportunities and growth in the village is quite strong. So. And with that, I know that was a lot of information. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Brian. That was a lot of really good information. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Anybody got any questions for Brian? May get some after we all digest it a little more.
Very good. And again, these numbers are all loaded up as PDF format on our website. So, great. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Brian. Next up on our agenda, we have a report from Downtown Management Corporation. Welcome, Erin.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Erin Venezia, and I'm the Executive Director for Downtown Downers Grove Management Corporation. When I was here in October, I gave you an overview of all that had happened in downtown in 2022 up to that point. I will highlight a few of those elements and focus on the holiday events that occurred since then. Downtown Downers Grove is home to approximately 280 businesses. The good news is we continue to maintain a first floor occupancy rate of approximately 98%. The bad news is it sometimes takes a little bit longer to find that perfect fit for a new business. In the past year, Downtown Downers Grove welcomed 19 new businesses. 2023 is off to a great start, and we have recently welcomed, or will soon be welcoming, the following businesses: Bentley Irish Dancers at 926 Warren, Bonita Bowl at 4956 Main, Capetta's West Suburban Funeral Home and Cremation at 4920 Main, Custom Cabinet Connection at 1013 Maple, The Pound Cake Bakery at 5228 Main, and Solana Aesthetics at 5143 Mokel Drive. We continue to maintain the now 31 planters that adorn the sidewalks. We have received many compliments on this addition to the aesthetic of the downtown. In addition, we ordered 18 new benches to replace ones that were in need of replacement. Downtown management hosted 19 events and large promotions last year. The previous events and promotions covered are the Ice Festival, Spring Break Downtown Downers Grove, the Bunny Scavenger Hunt, the Wine Walk, Friday Night Live in partnership with the Moose Lodge Cruise Nights, Sidewalk Sale, Fine Arts Festival, the Fall Coupon Book, Pumpkin Scavenger Hunt, Ladies' Day Out, Schools Just Want to Have Funds, Halloween window painting, trick-or-treating, and we also launched a new program, Loyal to Local, for the summer months. A brief recap of those previously covered events. The 2022 Ice Festival was our biggest last year with 58 sponsored sculptures. That was until we exceeded it this year. The Wine Walk had a sellout crowd again, this time our most participants at 350 attendees. The Downers Grove Moose Lodge hosted the Moose Cruise Nights Friday nights from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Downtown management, in partnership, hosted live entertainment at the train station each Friday in partnership with the Moose. Our office launched the Loyal to Local program to reinvest back into our businesses. The grand prize basket had more than $1,000 in gift certificates to 28 different downtown businesses. Downtown management purchased a $25 gift card from each participating business, and some of those businesses donated an additional amount on top of that. We had more than 1,100 entries from over 70 different zip codes. In July, we had 24 businesses that participated in the sidewalk sale, and the Fine Arts Festival had 34 great artists and was well attended by the community. The Fall Coupon Book went to 23,000 households in Downers Grove and surrounding suburbs. In September, Ladies' Day Out, Schools Just Want to Have Funds was held, and our businesses donated more than $2,300 back to the local elementary school PTAs. We kicked off the holidays with Small Business Weekend, the weekend after Thanksgiving. The Old Town Carolers sang holiday carols on Friday afternoon, leading up to the village street lighting ceremony. Shoppers and diners of all ages came out to support the downtown businesses. An estimated 330 people enjoyed a horse-drawn wagonette ride around the downtown on the Sunday afternoon of Thanksgiving weekend. Families were lined up before the horses even arrived. The annual Gingerbread House contest was again full of beautiful entries in 2 different divisions. Those winners received $50 in downtown Downers Grove gift cards. We had 10 different community organizations add to the festive mood by caroling around the downtown on Saturdays and Sundays throughout the holiday season. This was approximately 280 carolers in total. The Gingerbread Man Hunt ran throughout the entire holiday season, and there were 51 gingerbread men hidden within the downtown businesses for the families to find. Once they found half, they were able to turn their sheet in for a prize. Merry Madness was held on December 15th and was met with a snowfall that was not in the forecast. This did not stop the 150 that bundled up and stopped by our office and to pick up a swag bag. There was a mystery gift card in each swag bag. A handful of those were downtown gift certificates that were donated by our office or sponsored by other local organizations, and others were to the downtown businesses that had generously donated them to the bags. This new twist to Merry Madness was very well received by those in attendance. Santa was in his house every Saturday and Sunday from November 24th to December 18th and handed out just under 1,600 candy canes. Candy cane cash rewards was again well received by the community. Patrons submitted their receipts to our office electronically or in person. They needed to have a minimum of 3 receipts totaling at least $100. One receipt could be a retailer, the second a restaurant, and the third and beyond were of their choice. We distributed approximately $2,000 of downtown management funds and gift certificates to be used at participating downtown Downers Grove businesses by February 28th. This holiday season, we again worked with our longtime partner, Laszlo Landscaping, to put holiday lights on the train station and encourage businesses to do the same with their storefronts or buildings. We also hired B&B Holiday Decorating to add oversized lighted holiday decorations around town. This year, we were able to put 8 oversized decorations around the downtown, including the addition of a 10-foot snowflake and a 10-foot reindeer. We encourage patrons to post a picture on social media under their ornament arch for a chance to win a gift card weekly. We redesigned and modernized our gift certificate to be a gift card and launched it in December. These are available in $5, $10, $25, and $50 increments. The redesign into a smaller card versus the paper certificate has been well received. The community is continuing to support our downtown gift card program. We sold more than $32,000 in downtown gift certificates last year. I look forward to continuing to work with our businesses, property owners, shoppers, vendors, village staff, village council to keep downtown Downers Grove the vibrant downtown we all love and to continue to add more vibrancy. Thank you for letting me give you a recap into the past 12 months downtown Downers Grove.
Thank you, Erin. Any questions for Erin? Thanks, Erin. So that was an interesting way to start a meeting. You had to listen to three of us talk for a long time. But good news is there's a lot of really good activity going on in town. Last year was a great year. This year's going to be even better. And what you see is economic activity, entertainment activity, and people working together. The village partnering with people like Downtown Management EDC and Downtown Management partnering with other groups. It's a team effort, and it's great. It's a fantastic community. It's a fantastic, vibrant community. And I got to tell you, I'm biased, and of course I'm biased. That's all there is to it. But as I meet with other people from outside our town, and sometimes from outside our area, I really do hear people saying they love Downers Grove. They hear great things about Downers Grove. They want to visit Downers Grove. And that is all of us. That is everybody working together. So thank you to the folks that were here tonight. Thank you to the team here, but thank you to residents. It's about the community jumping in and making the community what it is, and we've got one to be proud of. So thank you all. Item 6 on our agenda is a consent agenda. Is there a motion concerning the consent agenda?
Mayor, I move that the council adopt the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin?
Aye.
Commissioner Colavani?
Aye.
Commissioner Sadowski-Fugit?
Aye.
Mayor Barnett?
Aye. That motion passes unanimously. We are on to item 7, our active agenda. This is the portion of the meeting where we plan to take action on items previously discussed at least one other meeting, sometimes multiple other meetings. Is there a motion concerning traffic control?
Mayor, I move that the council adopt an ordinance amending certain traffic control, parking, and speed provisions and pedestrian bike safety improvements as presented.
Second.
Are there any comments from the audience on this item?
Rich Benema, resident. Well, we've done this 7 other times before. I heard this from the Transportation and Parking Commission in November and from this council last month. So I reviewed the prior 7 studies, which were all very similar, all smaller north side neighborhoods. 6 of the 7 were bounded by Ogden Avenue. But don't take my word, this eighth time is different. As stated in tonight's packet, the street system is curvilinear as opposed to the grid system prevalent in the previous study areas. In other words, these 2 neighborhoods are different. I'm asking that you treat them as such. I want to point out some of the nuance in this curvilinear neighborhood that was not in the first 7 studies. Begin with Mead Place, indicated with the blue arrow. It only intersects with Mead Road where it turns into Revere Road, and those only intersect with Concord Drive. Beyond applying a broad brush designed for a grid neighborhood, why does Mead Place need a stop sign? The only people who will go there are going to one of the 8 houses on Mead Place. Here's a spot the difference quiz. Only one of these is getting a stop sign according to the ordinance. I posit it isn't necessary for either, but which one? Is it this one or this one? Here's another. One of these utility areas is being designated as a park zone. Which one is it? Is it this one or is it this one? Park zones are locations with higher pedestrian activity, particularly children. Intersections near 4 parks were surveyed for pedestrians. However, Marduk Farm and Dunham Place Park were not. On top of that, other than the intersections at Ruth K. Powers Park, one of the intersections, none of the pedestrian data for parks was included in the final report. What were the pedestrian volumes? Were they high? Were they 0? What is the point of paying for a study if its data aren't used to support the recommendations? This study wasn't a smokescreen for a set of predetermined outcomes, was it? Before any of these designated park zones, if it were me, I'd want to see proof that they indeed have higher pedestrian activity, particularly children, than the other streets within the neighborhood. And it's true that the village established park zones in the other 7 studies. I visited each of them. But this is the first farm. How many pedestrians, particularly children, are walking with their farming tools to a village-wide farm? This is the first time that a park zone will be on a street with a parking lot. If you've ever been to a sports activity or a track meet at O'Brien, you know that between the dog kennel next door and the fences across the street, nobody walks to O'Brien, they drive. This is an empty field. This is the first empty field. Stonewall and Concord is much less like Lee and Grant Park, which coincidentally had pedestrians when I visited it, and closer to the pit from the TV series Parks and Recreation, especially for 2 days after it rains. Putting 2 all-way stops, 2 high-visibility crosswalks, and a park zone under the misconception anyone is coming here is both wishful thinking and a waste of money, especially with Concord Square Park only 1 stop sign away. This is Dexter Road. Given that it is a no outlet with an existing stop sign, you might think it's all set, but no. In this curvilinear neighborhood, there's an entire subdivision behind there. As such, it's getting 5 new stop signs and a park zone. Is that really necessary? The only people who go back there are going to a home there. They've been fine on their own for over 30 years. Why does it need to change now? This is Palmer Street. It's another no outlet with an existing stop sign that will get 3 new stop signs behind it, including one here at Hillcrest that will give right-of-way to 50 feet of road that shouldn't even exist. As we were taking this picture, the resident who lives on the corner was checking his mail. He asked what we were doing. After I told him about the proposed ordinance, he motioned to this sign in his yard and asked one very insightful question. Why are they adding more stop signs and speed limits when they don't enforce the ones they already have? It was an excellent point. Our neighborhood doesn't need more stop signs or speed limits as much as they need the existing ones enforced. This ordinance is a bait and switch. It says the purpose of the survey was to look at the schools, but the areas around the schools are nearly untouched. Instead, every side street and side street of a side street is being changed.
Hey, Rich, take a breath. You're at 5. We're trying to keep people to 5, so find a way to wrap to the end.
I'm just about there.
Okay.
Thanks. This might be the first. But there will be other curvilinear neighborhoods. There will be other parks with more cars and few pedestrians. There will be other unused empty fields owned by the park district. For the first of this type, isn't it worth investigating more thoroughly whether one size truly fits all beyond saying, we've done this 7 other studies? What you decide here will become precedent for all the other neighborhoods like it. I ask you, please not rush this. Get this right. Vote against this ordinance. Send it back to the Transportation Commission to design a better fit.
Thank you. Other comments or questions about this one? Okay, comments or questions from the council concerning traffic control proposal?
Yes, Mayor.
Rich, please.
Yeah, I'm planning on voting no on this before I heard Rich's comments, because I live in that neighborhood. The cul-de-sac that's closest to my home has 6 homes on it, and I would think the traffic counts could be literally in single digits for that day. And I also agree with many of the comments. So I think what we've done is we've taken our one-size-fits-all approach in particularly in grid streets that are used as pass-through, people trying to get to work. On my street, there's no reason to go up Camden unless you live there. It does not serve well as a cut-through because it's curvilinear. You wouldn't save any time, unless you wanted to see what our houses look like. There'd be no real purpose to do that. So I just think we've taken too broad of a brush on this thing, and thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Others? Greg?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be voting in favor of the ordinance. I think uncontrolled intersections are less safe than controlled intersections. Not a big fan of yield signs. If you're going to slow down at an intersection, you ought to stop. if you're, no, I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else? Leslie, please.
Yeah, I'm kind of a similar mindset as somebody who may live in a neighborhood with uncontrolled intersections, and apparently it was a big deal before I moved in there. It always surprises me that we don't have controlled intersections because there have been near misses. So in general, I don't think the yield signs do quite enough, and I am more in favor of having a little bit more controlled intersections, especially that close to a school. One thing that I would like to see a little bit more of is, especially on Bolson there, to see more curb bump outs, and especially since it's so close to Downers Grove South. So moving forward, I would like to see that a little bit more. That's kind of part of that pedestrian safety aspect that I know we're trying to get to. So if we're not going to use, if we don't have the ability to use stop signs because there are limited intersections, at least at those intersections, I would like to see some bump outs, but I will be voting in favor of this today.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, I'm also in favor of this, but it's not because I'm trying to throw up a smoke screen. We have pretty long-standing stated policies of trying to improve our pedestrian accessibility throughout the community and try and improve the safety of interactions between pedestrians and vehicles. That's what's in play here. It's you know, cul-de-sacs, sure, there's not a lot of houses on there. There's still a crosswalk. There's still an opportunity for people to interact with vehicles. So whether they're bump outs like Leslie was talking about and like we referenced in the State of the Village report earlier, I am in favor and will almost always be in favor of trying to improve the interaction between vehicles and pedestrians and create environments where pedestrians are more likely to want to traverse their community. That's just it, curvilinear or otherwise. Curvilinear is not new. It may be a new thing in our traffic safety studies. The neighborhood's been there for decades, and they're all over the western suburbs. It's not like it's an unknown quantity for traffic engineers. We have a comprehensive plan that has been in place and has been revised that states that this kind of work, the kind of work that increases the likelihood of our community being traversable in a non-vehicular way, is a priority. And so I'm fully supportive of this. I realize people get aggravated by stop signs. I get aggravated by stop signs. But the truth is, it makes you think and it makes you slow down. There is not one neighborhood in town where you can't walk through it, knock on doors, ask them about their community, and they'll tell you two things. They'll tell you they hate stormwater and they hate traffic. Every single neighborhood. And so we have continued this process of working through the village. It goes back a decade or so of trying to do this work, and I hope we will continue to work through the rest of the village in the very same way, because my goal, and I think the goal of most residents, is that 15 years from now, their village is safer and more traversable by pedestrians and non-cars. So with that in mind, I'm supportive of this effort and will be supporting it tonight. Any other comments from council? Rosa, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Jose?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Glover?
Aye.
Commissioner Gilmartin?
Aye.
Commissioner Colavani?
Nay.
Commissioner Sadowski Fugit?
Aye.
Mayor Burnett?
Aye, that motion passes 6-1. We do not have a first reading tonight. Is there a manager's report?
Just a quick invitation for everybody in the public to please join us for coffee with the council this Saturday at 9 a.m. at the Downers Grove Public Library. We'll see you there. That's all tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 10 on our agenda is the public comments portion of the meeting. This is the portion of the meeting where we invite commentary on items not on tonight's agenda. As a reminder, please make sure you keep in mind the thoughts and comments earlier about how we conduct these portions of our meeting. If there's anyone that has something not on tonight's agenda, please come on down to the podium.
So a couple quick comments. Marshall Schmidt, 4923 Sealy, a couple comments. First, the good news is really good news. It's great to hear of the economic activity in town and all of the activities that go on in the downtown area. The question I have is really, how can that be better? And what I'm seeing, unfortunately, is an exercise in celebrating, which is wonderful, and we should do that, But at the same time, we should also ask the question, how can we be better? What can we do to improve all of the things that were talked about tonight? And I think each of the agencies that presented tonight need to ask those questions and need to put those out for the public to consider them. As to my second comment, as you know, I've appeared before this body many times over the last several years, and each time Mayor Barnett begins the meeting by talking about how the time for public comment is not a time for discussion or debate or to ask questions, but merely a time for comment. So, as you also know, I'm running for mayor, and Mr. Fieldman was kind enough to share with us the provisions of the municipal ordinance that govern the conduct of these meetings. And interestingly, that section 2.5D, provides that no person other than the council and the person having the floor, which is the person making the comment, shall be permitted to enter into any discussion, either directly or through a member of the council, without the permission of the presiding officer. That provision creates the impression that discussion during public comment is not prohibited. The only people who are prohibited from entering into public discussion during public comment are other people besides the members of the council and the person who has the floor. I would encourage the council to engage in more discussion with the community and take every opportunity, including village council meetings, to engage in discussion with the community, because what you heard tonight with regard to this traffic proposal is two people who live in this community who have trouble with all of these stop signs that are being added. And there was a very cogent explanation as to why this is different than other communities. And unless you engage in discussion, fulsome, robust discussion, stating your reasons, not individually after the person sits down and cannot in any way respond, unless you engage in that kind of discussion, the chances of reaching the right decision is reduced dramatically. I encourage you to have those discussions so that the community and the council and the various planning commissions can reach the right decisions, and the community can feel that they are empowered instead of isolated. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others, comments not on tonight's agenda? Please.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Managers. My name is Paul Scott. I have a 42-year history with the village. I used to live here. I still have a connection as a taxpayer and a rental property owner. And I really learned a lot tonight. It was very, very informative and really excited to learn some of the things that are happening in the village. I didn't know. I didn't get a lot of this at our coffee with the council, but boy, that was fun too. So I'm looking forward to attending the next one. I'd like to attend more if they were later in the morning. I'm just not a morning guy. But for this month, when the nation's history focuses on those Americans who came here across the Atlantic involuntarily, and whose contributions to the nation and participation in the building of wealth and lifestyles desired by all cannot be denied, I want to offer 3 names for reflection that you may not know, or that you might know and may have forgotten. So the first name is a person by the name of Hazel Dorothy Scott. She was a musician, and she was a lot more. The second name is Bayard Rustin, R-U-S-T-I-N. He was a leader in social movements for civil rights, and he also did a lot more. The third person is Annie Malone, whose full name was Annie Minerva Turnmo Malone, a businesswoman, inventor, and philanthropist. You probably know the name of one of her sales agents. Her name was Sarah Breedlove Davis, who later became known as Madam C.J. Walker. The next thing I want to share is that on Friday, February 10th, Dr. William Barber, professor and civil rights activist, will be at Benedictine University. He'll be speaking at Goodman Hall at 2 o'clock p.m. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Barber is very well known around the country for his work in civil rights. The third item I have here is the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center in Skokie opened an exhibit called the Negro Motorist Green Book. Through the Negro Motorist Green Book, visitors will explore film, photographs, interactives, and oral histories from travelers and Green Book business owners. Compare Green Book sales then and now, sites then and now, and appreciate historical objects from the Smithsonian and from a variety of Green Book sites. The exhibition includes artifacts from business signs and postcards to historic footage, images and first-hand accounts that illustrate not just the apprehension felt by black travelers across the country during the time when the Green Book was the key to successfully navigating the country, but also the resilience, innovation, and elegance of people choosing to live a full American life. I'm going to close by offering you names of heroes in the civil rights movement whose participation and contributions have been lost to time, it seems. Andrew Goodman, Michael Henry Schwimmer, James Earl Cheney were murdered in Mississippi, and you will know them from the film Mississippi. And I also have the name of Viola Liuzzo. She was a civil rights activist who heard the call from Dr. King up in Detroit, mother of 5, went to Mississippi, and she was murdered. To recognize these historical figures is to acknowledge the reality that a nation can at once be both great and highly problematic. The names shared here are from American history, and no amount of denial of the crimes perpetrated against some Americans by others, or the privilege afforded to some and denied to others, will change that. Acknowledgement of history defeats ignorance and is good for our souls. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate the work you're doing.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Subjects not on tonight's agenda? Okay. Seeing none, council member reports. This is a portion of our meeting where council members report out on other goings-on in the community, other groups they're part of or working with, events they think we should know about. So we'll start with Commissioner Glover.
I have no report. Thank you, Mayor.
Chris?
No report. Thank you, Mayor.
Greg?
No report. Thank you, Mayor.
Rich?
No report, Mayor. Thank you.
Leslie?
Yeah, I do just want to mention that as we do celebrate Black History Month, and we celebrate the fact that we're going to have Israel Blackburn Civil Rights Plaza, I'm excited to see that come to fruition. I would just challenge everyone to read more about the impact, the transformative impact that Black Americans have had on our lives. And as always, I hope that one day this is not just a month, but an all-year endeavor. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Cool.
I have no report, Mayor. Thank you so much.
And I have no additional comments. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mayor, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all and good night.